All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Divine Relationships Masterclass. Welcome, Harry. Last week we held a very beautiful space for the Divine Masculine. Welcome, Caleb. Welcome, Anissa. I'm so glad we have people that are online joining us this time. Finally, we get all of our stuff sorted out. We held a really beautiful space last week for the Divine Masculine to share what is the Divine Masculine. And this week, we're going to be discussing what is the Divine Feminine, from the feminine. And the men are going to hold space for 30 minutes and not speak. And so the Divine Feminine, we're going to just drop into our heart space and just speak about the world of what it is to be a Divine Feminine. What are the qualities? What are the characteristics? What does she value? Let's start there. Who would like to share? Welcome, Annette. Welcome, Joseph. You're going to start us off, August?
I feel, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I feel that the Divine Feminine is very deep, like travel to the bottom of the ocean deep. And we don't know how deep that goes. And when I close my eyes and I tune in to the inner world, it's so chaotic and emotion filled. And one moment I feel that there's bliss in that feminine. And then one moment I feel that there's just deep sorrow and grief. So it feels quite crazy. And there's a subtleness to it, a softness to it. Like it's an undertone. It's not really the thing that's most apparent on the surface. It's something underneath that. And I also see it as an energy. The Divine Feminine is connection. It's this like, I guess it's the receiver of a connection. It's like this openness to be connected with, and then also it's like a draw. Like there's a drawing of, I guess, that which would be masculine near. It's like, there's a push and a pull, and I can feel that this feminine is like, it's like the pull. That's what I got right now.
Thank you, August. Yes, please. And if you feel called to share, ladies, just place your hand up and we'll call on you.
I feel like for myself, I've just been learning how to access the divine feminine as a single mom. I had to kind of play, both roles, but mostly I was in my masculine, and I realized that I've probably been in my masculine most of my life. Kind of the do, go, go, go. And I was, providing for my girls, all the kind of stuff. But what I imagine the divine feminine and what I'm feeling, just having the opportunity to just be here is I'm feeling just, the flow, like a river. And I'm finding I'm having a hard time making commitments. Like 1 minute I might want to do one thing, and then the next it's like, oh no, then something else. And so I'm just like, it feels like it's changing really fast. Like 1 minute I feel like I should be doing this, and then I'm guided to do this. And so I'm just, for me, it feels like a river of flow and of and just opening my heart, feeling the feelings, just and I can relate to what you said, August Rose. Just the kind of I do feel a little chaotic and like really deep, and then I do feel the grief, but also the bliss. And I'm also just discovering my inner child more and more on the walk to the river this morning. Just felt like just kind of surrounded in miracles, and then I found this new path to this, like, it felt like a secret like jungle with like a couple of waterfalls. And I did want to get naked, I'm gonna admit. I just wanted to get naked and swim in the little pool and stuff, but I have a commitment to keep my swimsuit on.
You mean your clothes on?
Yeah, my swim. I did. Okay, so I did have to get. I'll just admit I had to get naked for a second to put my swimsuit on. But anyway, but just. I guess I'm kind of losing my train of thought here, but yeah, to me, it just. I feel like I'm still discovering it and just. Embracing what I haven't been able to experience in my life, because I have been more in the masculine is what I'm and I missed last week's class, so I feel like I maybe don't have as much information as what the divine masculine was maybe distinguished and expressed, but just have a lot of appreciation for the opportunity to learn more and discover more about myself, and be held in a space. I do feel a lot of divine masculine here, and that's something that I really haven't experienced either in my life. My father definitely was not, neither one of my parents were in their divine expression, so I didn't have any models of, kind of what that looked like. But here I feel that I see that being expressed, and it feels really supported, and like there's a safety to it, just like being held in kind of like God's hands through the divine masculine, and so it's allowing me to just kind of let the walls around my heart. I think they were pretty intense, as far as just not maybe wanting people to see me cry or see me feel, and I'm still struggling with that in a way. Like just the other day, I had to like run out of the meeting because it happened in regards to what happened with Peter and his daughter Clary, just asking her how she was feeling, and I was just like, and then I saw August Rose kind of having some emotion, and then I think I'm finding what my pattern is to kind of like want to hide that and not let people see I went in my room, just lay on my bed and cried, wailed. I thought maybe you guys could hear me in here, because I was just like, it's like, Just like snot rolling down and just blowing, and then thinking I was done, but then there was more, and I was just kind of curled up in the fetal position, and so that's coming through, and I really am. I have a lot of gratitude for that because I just was packing and stacking my whole life, and not really, and numbing, and yeah, just all the stuff, and so I'm just really grateful for the opportunity to feel and heal and be supported in that, and yeah, so I just have a lot of gratitude for that. So thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Any other ladies would like to share? Yeah, come on, Anissa.
For me, the divine feminine is a sense of knowing without knowing where it comes from, and wanting to create beauty and caring for babies and for Mother Earth and nature and plants, and loving to just feel the elements of nature, like the wind and the rain and the snow, just running through that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. What's the little baby's name?
This is Naomi, and she is wearing blue. But her name's Naomi. She's a little girl. And
Hi,
she's
Naomi.
4 weeks old, well, 5 weeks old today.
Hi, Naomi. So cute. Thank you, Anissa.
You're welcome.
So I'll share. I think I've always been the counterfeit feminine most of my life. What is that? That is a very toxic woman. Trying to manipulate, get her way, trying to play safe, trying to get it right, do everything for everyone else and leaving herself behind, losing herself in a relationship to do everything that she can for that person but never for herself. She felt unsafe, so she did everything for survival. She'd give up everything for it, even her own soul. So when I decided to really figure my shit out, like who am I and what really am I, and asking those questions, one day divine feminine came in and I'm like, what the F is that? What even is that? Well, discovering everything that I was not, it showed me what she is and what I can step towards too. And she's highly intuitive. She can feel everything. Maybe doesn't know how to articulate it, but she feels the depths of everything. She allows herself to. Very nurturing and caring and loving. But she is fierce to what you're not. She's strong and she's bold and wise. She knows who and who she is. She places God above everything else. She knows that she can't get anything from this world or even her partner, but it's what she gives to that relationship. The support, the listening, being the receiver. I'm still learning between the gap of this one is the emotional intelligence of sharing your feelings and then pointing your feelings at someone. I'm still in the discovery of what that is and how to best utilize that, because there's a lot of power. It's like if the divine masculine was the light bulb, I'm the electricity. And so, how do I properly manage that electricity so when it goes inside of there, it's not going to crack the light bulb open, you know? Um, Maybe that's exactly what she needs to do to make sure that the man actually can create a bigger container for what she's holding within inside of herself. I feel like if the woman's love is deep, the man is wide. So wide. She is not competitive. She is supportive to her fellow queens. She supports and uplifts and empowers them. She's courageous and absolutely fearless. She's ready to dive before there even is a step. Because she knows what's right. And it's not for self-serving. It's for the service of everyone around her. I remember, as a mom, like, I don't know who's the moms in this group, but as a mom, like, I would literally die for my kids. Like, I would jump into a freaking moving vehicle, if it was to save them. I didn't know what that would mean moving to the village. And I've been discovering the depth of leaving them with their fathers back in the States. A lot of judgments came my way for that. But I feel like it's the most courageous path any woman could ever make for themselves and their children. When you know that you're going in the wrong direction, you jump and you show them a new path and which way to fly. It's the hardest one, but it's letting go. I still struggle with that. Even though that I know conceptually, it's still very hard to not see them every day or to kiss their face and to honor their decisions about not wanting to speak to me. I know it's right. I know it's the honorable thing to do. I know it's exactly the perfect thing that needs to happen. Like, they're making decisions and they're able to go off on their own and have the responsibility of doing things themselves. And it's amazing to witness that. But as a mom, you want to be right there by their side. And I get to watch from afar. Divine Feminine is very vulnerable. She does not hide. She shares everything. I'm going to open this up. I was feeling called to share what a divine feminine is in relationship to her king. And I actually want to open that up for everyone else's perspective in that, with the women first, is what is the divine feminine in relationship to her king?
listening to you, I already had something coming up, and it's fits, and it's actually inspired really good watering last week when Phoenix was sharing about what the divine masculine is for her. She held up a container and she said, this is the masculine. And then she started going like this and saying, this actually isn't the divine masculine. um, yeah, the water within this container, and it's really feeling alive for me right now. Like, you can't see it, you can't even touch it. Like, you might even be able to think it's not there, but I can feel that this bottle is heavy when I pick it up, and I can feel the momentum of the thing swirling around inside of it. But really what I can feel inside myself and inside of the container of relationship and union is this testing, just this looking and looking and looking, like, where's the hole, where's the gap, where's the thing, like, what can I, do you mean it, is it for real, is this for sure, can I trust this, how about this, like. And that's where that feeling of crazy, it almost feels like it's originating in that inquiry of like, but can I really? And this awareness is arising for me now that there is no such thing as divine feminine without divine masculine. Like, it needs the contrast to, I need that contrast to experience myself. And I'm starting to suspect that everything I've been taught about the feminine that's wrong is actually what's been needed. Everything that I've tried to suppress is actually what wants to be seen by the divine masculine, by the and then it wants to feel safe. Like, it's just seeking that safety. That's why it's consistently pushing against the container. Can I rest here? Is this a safe space? Can I create here? Because inside of being informed, I receive, and when I receive, there's this effortless creation that comes out of it. And I've been trying to effort my way through it, and I'm getting to see that right now. When a woman receives the directive to make a child, she doesn't have, there's literally nothing to do. You can't effort your way into that experience. You just receive, and the creation begins. That's what I see. And yeah, the last part about it, specifically in relation, in a divine union, in relation to the king, it's like, it's to trust fully, like to surrender and to trust fully, and to soften fully, to allow myself fully to be directed, to be guided, to be, just to be. Because it's only when I do that that the seeds that he's planting can land on fertile soil. If I'm not listening, then I miss it. So, and I'm going to say another thing is like this underneath, like this rising up. It's like being wind underneath wings. It's literally to say, wow, look at what's going on here. Where can I breathe? Where can I breathe that into my being and then emanate that out? Like, where can I oh yeah, and it's getting deeper in this moment as I express that. It's just it's like to be a magnifier for whatever is being given to me. It's not always the good things. Yeah, just to magnify what's being handed and say, this is what this looks like. This is what this looks like. This is what this looks like. And in the most divine aspect, I'm not judging what's being handed. I'm just lifting it up.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's
I love that. And I love, it came to me, women are multipliers, by the way. You give her a house, she's going to give you a home. You give her love, she's going to give you children. You give her shit, she's going to give you hell. It's just the truth. She's a magnifier and a multiplier. So it depends on what you're giving her. I also have been very aware that in my past that I would try to make the man responsible for my feelings. They are not. And we're not responsible to make them feel either. That's theirs. The greatest thing that I've found in relationship to my king is like, without Christ, it's nothing. You wouldn't be able to even have the relationship, like the way that it's designed to be. Like it just wouldn't work. You're constantly in opposition and fight and war. Like because we're two opposite sex that have been at war for millennia, trying to rectify that. We don't think the same. We don't act the same. We are not the same. Like if I had to think about this, like a man is like a piece of spaghetti that hasn't been cooked yet, okay? And like their train of thought is like, okay, it's the same exact thing. I've got to mow the lawn. Okay, so I'm gonna start the lawnmower. I need to have gas for the lawnmower. The grass. It's all about the one streamline of consciousness. It's the same thing. But the woman is like a cooked bag of spaghetti, and it's just all like that. And that's the woman. Because all of it is supposed to be interconnected and make sense, but you're talking about 25,000 different things that the man can't comprehend. I think that's my description of a man and a woman's insides. You're welcome. You're welcome. And so we can't even figure it out. I don't think that we're meant to. I really don't think that we're meant to figure it out. Because the next thing that comes, it just blows it right over anyways, and so it's what's arising in the present moment and what's now, what's current. And I loved what you said about the bottle again and bringing that into reference, because there's no holes in the bottle. And so the woman does test with that to see if there's holes, but it does come to a point where it's like, when do you stop testing and trust and believe? And even if it does have a hole, are you the one that's gonna show them where it is? I've been recognizing, how do I show them that they have a hole? Do I show them like you're a fucked up piece of shit and then you should burn in hellfire for it? Or do I say, hey, you have a hole right there and you might want to go work that out and get back in your heart before you speak to me? That's a whole different approach. I've been questioning that one. So in relationship to my king, I'm his helpmeet. I'm here to support and uplift and to magnify his mission and his purpose that he's doing here for God. And if I'm not doing that, I need to get out of his way. It's been a really big one for me. I'll leave that there. And it's been 30 minutes. Men, you are invited to join the conversation. And thank you so much for holding space and listening to us share our hearts about what the divine feminine is.
Give it up for the divine feminine. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That was really beautiful.
You're welcome and you're worth it.
Um, does anyone have anything that they heard that they would like to
Like, men, how was that for you?
yeah.
It's going to be beautiful to hear from all of us, because one of the things that I have been missing in my life has been sisters and brothers that would talk about it. So it's really a blessing for me to actually sit here and hear, you know, women talk about how and how we all can function together, because it's literally like two different worlds. We can't understand each other, yet we were divinely designed to operate and co-create together. So that what you said about the electricity and the light bulb is very beautiful. It's like a bird, you know. I as a man can spread my wings, but I won't fly anywhere unless there is the wind that actually will take me somewhere. So I see the feminine as this tremendous power that's like a never-ending source of energy that just keeps going. And I see it as water. It's like everywhere, and it's connecting. It's connecting. All the waters are connected together. It feels to me like the feminine energy is just this huge field that's connected together, and then the masculine takes that and creates a channel so that the energy can flow into a specific direction. And the man really can't, I can't do many things. I can't see, like the intuitive powers that the feminine have. I don't have it. I can only, it feels like I can see, like, you know, 5 meters ahead of me. And then the feminine comes and tells me, hey, you know, did you know that there is also something happening on the right side of you and on the left side of you and behind of you? I had no idea, because I just can see like direct. And so it opens my eyes, and I'm, you know, I'm not that one who is supposed to be looking all around me, and I need it. So the role of the feminine to have the intuition and see behind the surface upon which I create is crucial. It's like half of the co-create. It's not really a co-creation, you know. You can go alone. I can go alone and I'm gonna go fast. But if I go with the feminine, I can really go deep. So the depth for the masculine is just naturally missing, and we need the depth. We can't do it ourselves. The when you were sharing, I just I loved it all. There was so much this this fears towards what I'm not is what I've been finding most helpful lately here at Earthwaking Village. Seeing the feminine being like this fire when the masculine can't see, because we really can't see. Our vision can be so limited, and then the feminine with their ability to actually see. And so within the container, it's what I'm beginning to appreciate is that ability to to see the holes and actually point to them and fire. And I have been resisting that in the past so much, because for me, like, what, like, my partner is yelling at me, come on. So I used to be escaping that, and I used to be feeling small, and I used to be feeling weak, and I used to be feeling unsupported and unseen, unheard, and I would just run away. And so now that I can see the power of the feminine, I look at it from a very different perspective. I actually welcome it. What a gift. What a gift this is when a woman can actually come and stand and see what I don't see and point to it. And if I resist, just like, like burst through that, and it hurts. But man, I'm so grateful for that pain, because that's what expands my container. That's what makes me stronger. I can't get stronger without the feminine. The gym will not do it. but a good so I consider that this is like medicine for me, medicine. And my wish in my past life has always been to find a woman that is, submitted and peaceful and does everything I say. But now, but anyone else said that? Everyone. But now, really,
I'll
I'm
admit it.
praying for
I totally want to say
for someone who is, I mean, you mentioned it so beautifully. It's like this river, the river can flow peace and slow, but then in Costa Rica, you get one rain and suddenly this river like grows 5 times, and it's like, and so I welcome that. I actually want that. I want that to be going like this crazy, because that's the moment when I can see, when I can make the container stronger and more functional. And the last thing I want to say is the feminine as being the receiver. That's the other thing that I can really now appreciate, because me as the masculine, I am the giver. I just want to give. I want to take care. I want to create a space in which the feminine can just be happy. That's all I want to do. I want to give and give and give. And so when the feminine does not have the ability to receive, then it blocks me. And so the nature of the feminine is to just simply be and receive the container, receive all the love and all the all the structure that the man is creating as well as he can, to the ability, receive it fully, and then grow it.
Do you have a recent example of a woman not receiving?
Yeah, well, the first one that's coming on my mind is Sarah Kay, which is also a person with whom I am actually literally co-creating. We are holding this box together, this marketing box, and within the marketing box I've created a structure of the entire marketing course, and I have given it to her, and she hasn't received it. That's how it felt. So now lately, actually, she began receiving it, and she began giving gratitude, and with that gratitude I could more tap into this. Okay, now I see that you're receiving this. And what happened is that within me, seeing that she's receiving it, she felt now that there actually is a container within which she can bring in the electricity, and a lot of things began changing thanks to her receiving that. So I can now really feel the wind below my wings that I couldn't until she decided to receive the container that I created.
Oh. Thank you, Peter.
And also for the men that are on the online, the 30 minutes, we only ask for the first 30 minutes that us men don't speak, so you can raise your hands now if you have anything. Go ahead, Suzanne.
Is it appropriate for me to speak?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
because I wasn't here before and I want to make sure that I'm in the right place in the right container. So listening to you, Peter, reminded me of something that I remember back when you were first wooing Sarah, Dennis, and you had come up with a list of the woman, all the traits that you wanted in your queen. And I think Jonathan said something to you. I don't remember the exact words, but it was basically, how do you become the man that she's looking for?
If I actually have that list still, and it was, what qualities do I bring for my queen?
And he
Right.
burned the list of what the qualities of a queen is for him.
And you turned it around.
I
And
didn't know
that-
you were here for that, but
Oh, that was so powerful. It was so powerful.
That was when I was telling him, no, get away from me. I wasn't receiving anything from him.
And I think the reason that came up for me is because I was listening to you, Peter, and you want to build the container for your queen that she can surrender to, that she can receive. And then I was thinking how once in my own life I thought about, well, how do you create a space that's inviting to your beloved? Well, first of all, you have to find out what your beloved wants, what is in their heart. And you know, like there are birds in the forest who their whole thing is building the nest that's going to attract their perfect mate, right? And there's some that they collect things and they create like these bowers and weavings and do all these things to attract their mate. And they have to consider, well, what does she find attractive? What is interesting to her? What makes her heart sing? And I was thinking of that in myself. If I were to create an interior world, because I was starting with myself, the interior world where my beloved would want to enter. And to me, the first thing is I have to be the embodiment of what I think love is. I have to become it first. And it's an interior process first. And so I used to do this exercise in my head where I would just like, okay, I'm building an altar to, you know, building the bower of the beautiful, what is beautiful to my beloved. And of course, my beloved is Jesus. And the altar is my heart, just my naked heart. Just that everything that I am is laid on it. And no disguise, no. And then I thought about, well, what is it in a man that I do find attractive? And it's that open heart. When a man is willing to be vulnerable and open with me and tell me the truth of what's inside of himself, that is so attractive. More than all the gold and all the stuff and all the, it's that open heart. And I think when I saw you, Dennis, open your heart, that shifted everything between you. When you laid down your idea of what it was supposed to be and just opened your heart to Sarah. And I imagine there was a moment when she saw you and said yes, saw who you really are on the inside. And that to me is just like, that's the perfect moment. It's that vulnerability, that purity, that the seeing where your true commitment is to God and to her through your commitment to God. That's really inspiring. I just wanted to speak to that.
Thank you. And yes, it did shift. When it was when he let me go. That was really when things shifted. Yeah. Because then it wasn't about him anymore.
Anyone else? Something that's coming up, or what was your experience when the women were sharing? What are you hearing?
Yeah, the part that made me smile was the amplifier. Um, it's like a megaphone to God or my heart or hell in some ways. Can be really present and alive in your eyes. Like it's all like the whole universe is like just lit up. And yeah, the connection to this, I don't know, field of feminine knowledge that just like you can just look at each other. You don't have to talk to each other, know each other. You can just like walk into a room and be like, oh yeah, I know that one. And like, oh yeah, that one. Oh, I don't like that one. And just like, and like there's all this communication happening without a need for words. And then there are so many freaking words, like, and so many conversations happening at the same time. And like, it's, yeah, it's really alive. The amount of life that flows through when the sacred divine feminine is in the room, it dissolves all the boundaries. Like it dissolves anything that's like a real problem. Like that shit just kind of falls away, and then all this magic happens, and you're like, wow, this is awesome. And then one of them gets triggered or whatever around here anyways, and
Ruins it all. I'm just kidding.
well, and then it's like chaos for a while. It's not only here, but as it's given space to do the chaotic thing so freely, it's more chaotic here, and on the other side of that, more clarity also comes. So That's what I got.
Thank you, Tim.
I really love how you just distinguish the more chaos, the more clarity. Like that's, thank you. Yes. I'm just seeing this dynamic of like us as a community and what we're doing here. Like some days it doesn't seem like we're fucking getting anywhere, but after it all like gets put it back into form, it's like wow, like so much forward momentum and like beauty. So thank you for that distinguishment. Caleb.
Hey y'all. Um, so I'm really present to is just how ignorant and selfish, blind, and just like closed-minded I've been in the past. Like like I used to give my wife shit about like not being able to like, meditate well and be able to, quiet her mind down. And she's always saying like she's, 10,000 thoughts a minute. And I always like, you know, I assumed, oh, why don't you just, why don't you just meditate and just, just chill out. It's like just
I wonder what her response was to that one.
right, right. Yeah, exactly. It's just like, holy shit, like just realizing like I've got so much to learn and I've got, the perfect mirror next to me and just really humbling and just empowering too at the same time. Like I got a visual there like about like finding a hole in my container that I'm creating as a masculine and like just firing at that hole, just, giving shit and just like I just had this image of like that hole that fire is meant to like melt that hole till it closes up and creates a tight seal again. That's like its intention. And it's just like this whole different perspective of, you know, when I am being fired upon. Like I used to use that in the past to take myself to hell, and that's actually it's a divine gift where I could literally design that way for a reason, on purpose, by design. And just realizing I've got a lot to learn, and it's through humility that that learning is going to take place, and just appreciation of who I have next to me and everything that she brings to the table, and not being so quick to judge it and taking my time to step back and really see and acknowledge the gift that this is, no matter what it looks like, no matter how it's showing up. If it's coming from a state of anger or impatience or whatever it is, I know that I can learn, I can grow from it. And I just see, I'm just starting to like really see this the divine tapestry at work. And yeah, like was said, the chaos, the clarity that comes after chaos. Um, yeah, it's just yeah, it's a gift. It's a gift. All of it's a gift. Algo que quiere decir? Oh, I feel complete with that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else have anything of what they experienced when the women were sharing?
Even the women, like, how was it to be supported by the men listening?
I mean, it's my time. It's my time. I'm going to say something. Now's the moment. I had a few. Well, I noticed that I really wanted to just sink in and connect. There's only 3 of us women sitting here in the physical, and then being present to Annette and Fabi and Anissa online. Like that's really where I wanted my energy to focus as I honed in on like what is the feminine, and talking about the divine feminine brought into my awareness some of the gaps that I experience when it comes to actually being and embodying the divine feminine consistently. Like it brought up a person who said, you're an imposter. You don't have any business to talk about the divine feminine. You don't know what that is. And it felt like such a contrast from last week when I experienced the men speak about divine masculine, and I just felt this deep, like, wow, how beautiful. Like, it was so rich to be able to receive that conversation, which is that's the divine feminine. So then to speak, yes, it can also be the divine feminine, but it comes out weird and chaotic and crazy. It doesn't feel structured. And I've told my feminine that she's supposed to feel structured, and that doesn't make any sense. But there was a few moments, especially from you, Dennis, where I just felt this like beaming energy from the masculine, like just this love, like this just love. And I could feel it from other spaces around the room as well. But if I looked at Sarah Jean, you were right there in the corner of my eye, and I just noticed how supportive that felt, to just be a woman speaking and to have, it feels backwards to be women speaking and have men be quiet for me. Like it feels normal in the world, like that's what happens, but it's like it happens by force. So to be given that space is really.
You're going to hear me right now, and you're going to be quiet, and I'm going to blast you for about 10 minutes, and then you're going to repeat back what I said. Got it? Okay.
You know what she's talking about?
No.
Liar, 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 liar.
Yeah, I'm so present to how many times have I just sat there and spoken for 10 or 20 or 30 minutes or 60 minutes. And you say nothing, and you just hold that space, but you never said, hey, I'm going to hold the space. Hey, talk, and I'm going to listen. Like, it's never, I haven't asked or haven't been, handed the creation of that container so clearly as before this evening. And so to just be in that, and then it's like, well, I'm allowed to receive. I'm allowed to receive the support in this circle right now. Yeah.
I have a question for you, August. Do you feel like the container has to be a certain way in order for you to express?
Do I know that that's not the truth? And do I feel that way? Absolutely. Yes. It makes me mad. Like, what? Why would it have to be a certain way? Like, I actually had a thought at a certain point about unscrewing the water bottle lid and throwing the water all over the room and saying, this is the feminine. And I'm like, is that the divine feminine though? There's like an edge.
That might be counterfeit.
Right. Right. And so, but that speaks to why I have some sort of like, is it really appropriate to do that if there's holes in the thing? Like when I notice that there's a hole, then I should probably stop. Otherwise, there's going to be water all over the place.
But think about this. You know when like you have an air mattress and there's a hole in it and you jump on it to try to find out where the freaking hole is and you're trying to find out where the air is, you have to put pressure and you have to get it to find out where the hole is. So maybe you're supposed to be shaking it up to find out where the hole is.
Yes. And once we know where the hole is,
What do you do with that?
I don't know.
Do you flame it and like say you're a worthless piece of shit and get out of my face?
That's not quite, I don't think that's quite my flame. Oh,
You're the worst water bottle ever.
I'm breaking up with you. I want nothing to do with you. Go sleep somewhere else. Okay. Okay, we got it. We got it. All right. Well, there's that.
I didn't ask you to go anywhere else.
Oh no, I'm leaving.
Oh, I'm leaving because you're not doing what I want you to do.
Yeah. Okay, that's the thing.
Yeah. Dennis's joy.
Why are you so excited? What are you feeling?
I'm just grateful to be witness to this craziness of all of our journeys. Like, it is, wow. I'm just really grateful.
He's got infectious joy, guys,
Yeah.
by the way. I heard in your communication a couple of times, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, or you're not supposed to be doing that, or is this what we're supposed to do? There is no supposed to.
There's only one North Star. All right, that's my opinion. That's my belief. I'm just sharing what.
Do less, especially when you're trying to get it right. Like, that's not going to be the right way automatically. Like, get it wrong as fuck, like super wrong, and then you're on the right track. That really just did that. Did we lose a few spaghetti noodles in there or what? Okay.
I'm still thinking about taking off the lid.
Some of us might melt, so be careful. Thank you, August.
You're welcome.
Joseph.
Hey, so I'm feeling like my inner child just wants to announce, I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Woohoo!
I think in my life, I've really been, well, I didn't hear, the masculine half, whatever, happened last week. So kind of blanked on that part. But I think in a lot of times in my life, I've been too much in the toxic or dysfunctional, feminine side of myself, where, it's like, oh, intuition, this feels right. And I'll, listen to a person, I'll surrender to a situation. I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go along with that. And then what I get in return is I just receive hell and suffering. And I can be starting off from a strong position, but then I overgive and then I put myself right down there at the bottom. And I've done that a few times in my life, but the really painful thing is, the sad part is, it feels like I'll make one mistake and I'll pay for it, but then it's like I have to keep on paying for it for like my whole life, is what it feels like. Like I'll give something up and then I'll never get it back. It's I've dealt with a lot of stress, anxiety, and depression, and I can feel that shit coming back now, and I'm like, I just want to run away. It's kind of like in the movie The Shawshank Redemption. To get out of that prison, you have to crawl through the shit.
Yep.
And yeah, I feel kind of like Christ before the crucifixion. I'm like, God, is there maybe a cleaner way to get through this journey without going through all that shit? It hurts, and I don't know what I'm doing.
Hallelujah.
He
Hallelujah.
does, though.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a never-ending trust fall. I'm like, all right, God, I trust you. I'm falling. I'm still falling.
Thank you, Joseph.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Check. So one thing actually came up when you ask about, when was the last time that I could create a container and the feminine was flowing in it, and I mentioned Sarah Kay, and then I'm thinking to myself, there must be a difference, because we men co-create all the time with females, and we all of us create some kind of channels, containers, like in the garden beautifully, in the kitchen and other places. And for me, it's within the business. So, but then, so I can see that women, have been supporting me on this physical level in certain ways, like integrity, communication, transparency, like ability to listen, hear, ability to be humble, and all of it. But then I haven't really had an experience of a divine relationship like you two have. And so I can only imagine, but what I'm imagining, that in the same way as on the physical, there are certain qualities of me, then like within myself also there is a container that the feminine has the ability to see within the container. So the walls of the container, is the love being focused in one direction? Is there compassion within this man? Can I trust this container? Does this man have ability to remain with one purpose, on purpose? Like, is there the capacity to just be on purpose rather than this. So what the feminine has, the intuitive ability is within the man to actually see, is he leaking outside to something that would distract him from the purpose. Is there a capacity of the man to have one purpose, one God, one woman? If the man deviates from that or goes and has a tendency to lose himself, then the feminine needs to step up and needs to kind of have the ability to show him immediately, like, you're getting lost, you have one purpose. And so that's the strengthening. I can see that as strengthening on the physical, but then also strengthening within, which the feminine with the intuitive power to see is priceless. Yeah.
Are you complete? Thank you. I just saw something in your share. I'm like, wow. Like, earth waking is actually there's this feminine and masculine, but the earth waking, what we're doing is the earth waking is the channel, and is like the male is the masculine channel, and then the feminine is like what I just in your share, what I experienced is when we're not owning our shit, like the greatest gift that Sarah and I have for each other is our authenticity. So when we as a community on a macro scale, the people that are living here, when we're not being authentic with how we really feel, it's actually hindering the masculine channel of building heaven on Mother Earth, like the momentum. So the more authentic we are as a community and surrendering that, because that's what the women are spotting is when they're blowing holes in the ship is, hey, like, listen the fuck up, like, there's holes over here, like, they're spotting that. So thank you for that. I just recognize, like, that authenticity is really gonna, like, I feel like that's a massive thing in our momentum and in our co-creation of the feminine and the masculine within the whole community. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Just pointed it out within the community and then within a relationship. And so the beauty is that in the community and in the relationship, we are all here centered around one purpose. So it should be quite straightforward, but still, because we are none of us are super clean and pure in many ways, in some ways, it's beautiful that we all keep eyes. Yeah, thank you.
How can the divine masculine, like, how can we serve, like, what is the highest use of our service for the feminine, like, within the community? Or what does that look like? Like, what is the highest service of the masculine to the feminine, like, within this like, within the earth waking container?
Well, I think a superpower you could use is deep listening, to just really listen. Listen to the feminine when it speaks. And one of the things that I have witnessed and that is really empowering to me is the way that John is with Mel, where they describe how they're in the early parts of the relationship, she had to go cuckoo crazy, and he had to have the capacity to create a space for that to be okay. If you're going to demonstrate unconditional love, to have that capacity to listen that deeply, to receive that deeply, is gives her the possibility of releasing whatever is held inside of her so that she can be free. So the whole thing is that you free each other. So that being the service aspect of the relationship, where how are you together to free each other or to get your needs met? You know, I mean, are you there to learn what unconditional love is or to get what you want out of it, you know? So that's a very different focus.
Oh, yeah. When you asked that question, it was like I wanted more of a direct question because it's so broad. But I'm going to give a direct answer. It's one, just keep your eyes focused on God. Like, that's number one. Number two is everything that this relationship is to bring glory to Him. And if it's not, like, point that shit out. That would be in the best service to me and our community and this mission and what we say that we're up to. Because what hit me so hard the other day is when I say that I'm something and I'm faced with it real time in the moment that it truly matters, am I going to be that person? When it really matters just for someone else, no matter what they're doing, no matter how they're acting, how am I going to respond to that? And so to be able to test all those right here in this holodeck with each other, so we are that person when the real thing actually happens, I want that. So that's what I'm asking for. That's in the best service of my soul. Is that when we're really faced, when the battle really comes, who I get to be for another person is what really matters. So anything that's in service to that, I want that.
Joseph, is that up from last time, or you have a?
It's a new hand.
Okay.
The new hand.
So the answer that came up for me for how the masculine can serve the feminine, was also listening, and I guess I feel like a lot of times in my life, you know, people haven't really been doing that when I would speak. And so that would just make me feel like, what's the point? Like I would just retreat even further into my cell. Like, okay, well, I tried to share my heart with them, and I just got slapped down. I got stabbed. I got punished. You know. So the opposite of that would be someone's not just hearing what I say and then being like, okay, well, blah 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 blah, you know, and giving you the solution. I guess maybe from a masculine point of view for whatever I'm sharing. Something completely different would have been if someone would have been holding space for me. I actually, when I first jumped back into earthwaking a few months ago, it's like I knew what that phrase meant, but I didn't know, like, you know, like I couldn't give you like a specific definition. So I looked it up, and somebody had written, I mean, I'm sure there's multiple, but there was a website, and it was a whole article exploring, holding space. And when I read that, I was like, holy shit, yes, that's that's what I want to do, and that's what I need. Like that's what people should be doing with each other when it comes to speaking and listening. So yeah, that's what I've got.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have 9 more minutes. Um,
Um, that question was difficult for me. Because I'm just not used to that. Like, how can the men support me? Like, what? uh, I find that especially around men who are really grounded in the truth and listening to God, like, I get kind of hijacked. Like, I don't know how to be, because the only way to be is me, and I'm not used to being authentic around men. So I really just find a lot of trust in what you mentioned before, like just the authenticity from the masculine, like that just immediately like developed so much trust within me. And when you're coming from God and like in this supportive space where you're also just supporting the feminine and them being authentic and also like making things not a big deal, like laughing if if I were to have a breakdown or something, like I always appreciate that when John just like treats it in such a light manner, like that really does like transmute it.
Thank you, Emma.
Emma just shared something that was coming up for me in response to your question as well. I was thinking it until I heard you speak, Sarah Jean, and then I was like, oh no, I like that. I like that better. Very simple. Keep your eyes on God. Note of stay aware of that. There's some other things you said around it, but that's really the whole of it. And the thing that I was thinking was like reveal yourself to me. Show me where are you? Where are you at? Because that, but then as I thought deeper into it, I'm like, actually that's what I feel like is there for me to do. I have no business asking that of anybody else. That's my own directive for myself or from God for me. And I'll know that I'm doing that well if it's being reflected to me outside. So that's a part of the divine feminine, is to just reveal the whole thing, hide nothing. But it did bring up a question for me, that what a lovely question this is, and none of us women thought to ask that of you men last time. I would love to use the closing of the divine feminine space to ask, like, what is the masculine? What would be the most supportive to the masculine? How can the divine feminine best support the divine masculine, especially within this world here that we're living at Earthwaking? And if you want to answer, anybody, I'd love to hear from someone who would represent that.
Oh, look at these two.
feels like I've already heard the answer being shared. It's just point to what we can't see. And then I really liked what, Sarah, you were sharing earlier about point and see, and then you go find it. Be responsible and go. Get out of my face. Go find it. And that the seeing and then the kind of the go find it really like lit me up. So it's like this, and Peter, it feels like it's been shared. Like you're getting behind by seeing it, and then giving us the confidence that we can find it. And it's, yeah. I'm being drawn to something that Dennis shared with me the other day, that I felt his belief in me. And I did something that I didn't think I'd be able to do because he planted that seed in me. It was like it was already done. So then me doing the task it was already done. So I'm seeing maybe that's where this is going. It's like point to it and get underneath it as if it's already done. Don't be like, you go find it, and be like, don't think you're going to find it, but good luck. But it's like, no, you can do it. It's already done.
The
I believe you.
energy.
I trust.
Yes.
And yeah, I like, just speaking to what Dennis pointed, I felt unstoppable. I felt like it was done. I was, there's no task too high with that belief. And it's, yeah, I see the feminine is just yeah, that's what I got. That's the possibility kind of presenter. I don't know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate that. Thank you.
For me, I can't really speak for every guy, but reminding me how fun it is, like to go through the process of the flames and the adventure of finding out what it is to be human. Like, so yeah, keep up with the intensity, all the things, but like really shine that fun light on the thing too every once in a while. Remind us how fun it is to get flamed and to be loved by you. So.
How sweet it is to be in love by you.
Got 1 minute, Peter.
And for me, 10 seconds, it really boils down to the fact that, yes, we men, I make mistakes. And then when the woman can be with this, like, okay, I believe you, I forgive you, and I love you, then that creates this wind behind that's like, okay, I repent, but I keep going, I have support. So that's what's important for me.
Thank you, Peter. I think this is a really good starting for next Friday, is the question that you just asked.
Even deeper.
Yeah.
We're going to have some really fiery questions next week. It's like almost going to be like a game thing. Fun, support, and a little bit of fire. You got Song Circle next week. Well,
The week after will be the last one for the year.
yeah.
So, thank you everyone for being here, for participating. Thank you, everyone online. Appreciate you all.
I know. Thank you so much for adding so much to our lives and sharing this space with us. It's such an honor. Like, I've just grew so much in this space by all of your shares. I'm like, I feel really lit up. I just appreciate you all for being here and going on this journey with us. I love you.
Good night.